everyone, and welcome to QuarenTime. Today, I am back with Alden as a celebration of his graduation. Congratulations, Alden.
Thanks.
And today we're going to talk about Alden's movie collection, because Alden has quite a collection of movies, a growing collection of movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many movies do you have right now? I think you just told me this the other day. Do you know off the top of your head?
50-something?
50-something? That's
40 or
pretty
50,
cool.
something.
And you get more movies all the time to add to your collection, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So today I'm going to ask Alden some questions about his movies. I guess about his hobby of watching movies and learning about movies. And that's what we're going to do today. So, Alden, the first question that I have for you is, how did you first get interested in movies?
I just kind of started watching them with friends, and then kind of, when I got a job at a movie theater, I had the opportunity to start seeing a bunch more movies.
Yeah.
And suddenly became a lot more interested in watching more movies, and then got interested in, like, more technical aspects of movies, and, like, looking at other parts of movies, and it kind of just spiraled. So
That's really cool. Yeah, definitely working at a movie theater, you'd have lots of chances to see lots of different kinds of movies. That's awesome.
Saw a lot of movies last year. So.
That's awesome. Do you have a favorite movie? I know it's probably hard to pin down one favorite movie out of that collection, but
I don't have a favorite movie. I have a couple different highlights in here. Like Parasite is a fantastic Korean drama thriller. Best movie of last year, probably.
That's awesome.
Same with Uncut Gems is another fantastic like drama thriller, not Korean. This, I think, is my favorite movie of last year, too. I don't actually own all of my favorite movies, but another one that I would highlight, or another two that I would highlight, actually, are Grand Budapest Hotel, which is...
That's a good one. I like that one a lot.
It's Wes Anderson's most recent film, who I look up to a lot, because of his style, and it's just a comforting movie for me. I don't know why. I just like it. And then also, Edgar Wright's Baby Driver.
Oh, yes.
Another fantastic action film set entirely to music. Very interesting to watch. I think it's really good on rewatches, too, because you can kind of see how things time up more and see more of the directorial style shine through in this one.
That's really cool. So would you say, I know you said you really like Wes Anderson, would you say he's your favorite director, or do you have another director who you really like too?
I'd say Wes Anderson is my favorite director, but I also, there are a couple other directors that I highly respect, like Quentin Tarantino is an obvious one, Edgar Wright for Baby Driver, and Scott Pilgrim, which is another one of my favorites.
That's a really good one too.
Ari Aster is fantastic, has pushed out fantastic indie horror films for the past 2 years in a row, I think. And then what's his name? Robert Eggers is another. He does indie horror. So this year pushed out The Lighthouse, or last year pushed out The Lighthouse, which was fantastic. Another one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And 2017, I think, put out The Witch.
Okay.
They both got a heavy emphasis on old English dialogue.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is you can just feel the old classic English shining through. He's a fantastic writer, and then everything he directs just looks fantastic, and everything is paced just yeah.
That's awesome. Really interesting. That's the wrong set of questions. Do you have a favorite this seems like a weird question, I guess, now that I'm thinking about it, but do you have, like, a favorite movie cover? Because they have different, like, you have a big movie poster collection, and, like, I guess that's why I was asking that.
There's a couple different ones I like a lot. If we're talking about movie posters, Uncut Gems is one of my favorites currently.
Yeah, that's a good
if
one.
You look that one up. Anything directed by Wes Anderson
has good posters and
has
art.
Great posters. Like if you look at Grand Budapest.
Yeah.
Let me see what else. This specific cover for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood looks great, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's a couple different posters for stuff like Knives Out that I think look really nice.
Yeah.
The cover for Us looks really cool. All the posters for Onward really cool, too.
Oh, yeah.
In my opinion.
What, in your opinion, makes a really good movie?
I think it's a combination of things. I think it varies per person. For me, it tends to be editing style. Editing and style. Because I tend to pay more attention to stylistic things in movies, which is why I like Tarantino and Wes Anderson and Edgar Wright so much, is because they have a really, really strong style that sticks out. Like, if you're watching one of their movies, you can say, oh, that's this director.
Yeah.
You can tell. So that's what really elevates a movie, but it's, it's a combination of things, like, the script has to be strong, and the cinematography has to be clean, and the editing has to be not pointless.
Yeah.
Because sometimes in movies, they like to cut randomly and things like that,
Yeah.
and it's awful, but...
Yeah. Do you have, like, a worst movie, like, the worst movie you can think of,
Okay,
or...
you're gonna have to give me a second on that, because I've
Yeah,
got
that's
a
okay.
list of bad movies.
You have a list?
Well, I've got my list of worst movies that I've rated.
I love that, actually.
Okay, there we go. So, worst movies, I got forced into watching the Star Wars Holiday Special a while ago.
Yeah. Really bad?
It's just painful to sit through. It's not enjoyable at all. It's just painful.
That's too bad.
The Emoji Movie is that's kind of an obvious one.
Yeah, it's up there.
I don't think it's as bad as some other things that I've seen, because there's like a point where it just becomes so absurd that it just loops back to being really funny in my head. I just watched Arctic Dogs a little while ago. It's just boring. It's just a boring movie. Same with Sherlock Gnomes. It's just boring. It's just not fun to watch. The Great Gatsby is a masterclass in bad editing.
Yikes.
In my opinion.
That's
and
too bad.
It's trying to be super flashy when it is The Great Gatsby, and really could do without that.
Yeah.
Honeyland.
I feel like I've heard you talk about that one and how much you disliked it a lot.
I was trying to watch all the Oscar nominees, like every Oscar nominee this year, and it got a nomination for Best...
Documentary, right?
I think it got nominated for Best Documentary and possibly also Best Foreign Film.
Okay.
Which it was up against Parasite, by the way.
Yeah.
Not really...
That's not...
Nothing could win
not even a
against
contest.
Parasite.
Yeah.
But Honeyland, it's about, like, nomadic bee farmers, and it is not interesting. It's just not. And it's not even, like, a documentary, really. It's like, it just follows this woman and nothing happens.
That sounds like a bad movie.
It wasn't fun to watch. It was only an hour and a half, and it felt like 5 years. I had to stop like twice in the middle of it to take a break, just because I was like, I'm sick of this.
That is too bad.
So, yeah.
Well, there you go,
Those
I
would
guess.
be my picks for worst movies I've seen.
Okay, last question. What to you is like the most interesting part of filmmaking?
Probably cinematography is generally what I find interesting. How shots are set up and
Yeah.
framed, things like that.
That's cool.
Though I also really like editing a lot. I think that the way something that is edited can strongly affect how people see it, and
Mm-hmm.
you can take the same scene, edit it a couple different ways, and get completely different emotions out of it.
Yeah,
I
for
just
sure.
think that's interesting.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. That's fascinating. Yeah, filmmaking is a really cool art form.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Alden, for talking to me today about your film collection.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really interesting collection that you have, and it's really fun to hear you talk about movies. So, all right. Well, I guess that covers it for today, and we will see you next week for another episode of QuarenTime.